taking out the sr20 today. We got someone coming to purchase it. We're gonna get ready to get it all torn down. Get it ready for the big winter. A lot going on. Gonna be plenty to come. So sit back and enjoy the teardown. Hopefully it all goes smooth.
Come check the flow. You ain't know. Come check the flow.
So, this is the mess. Not too terrible, I guess. It's still leaking out a little bit. Looks good. Nice. Nom nom nom. Okay.
Master. Back, master. Back. Master. Renegade back master, back 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 renegade back master. P4 damager, the ill behavior back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, power to the people's back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, the ill behavior back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, power to the people's back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, the ill behavior once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, power to the people's back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, the ill behavior back. Renegade back master, back renegade back master, back renegade back master. P4 damager, the ill behavior. Back renegade back master, back renegade back master. P4 damager, the ill behavior back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, power to the people's back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, the ill behavior back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, power to the people's back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, the ill behavior back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, power to the people's back once again. Will the renegade master? P4 damager, the ill behavior back. Renegade back master, renegade
We got the MR2 out here because Anthony has sold his SR20. And why did you sell it, Anthony?
So we're gonna go V8.
Oh yeah, boy. So now we have to pop the SR20 out. He got a head start on Sunday and took out the intercooler, the front bumper, the oil catch can, drained the radiator, has the radiator out over there. So what's the next step? Looks like you taped everything up.
Yeah, we got everything taped up. All the important holes, so nothing's getting in there while it was sitting for the last couple days.
Nice.
I guess we're just gonna try and we'll take the motor mounts, get them loose, trans mount, and then start pulling out. There's some stuff in the back we gotta disconnect, heater hose. There's some plugs back here I can't really reach, and I don't want to try and disconnect them until I know what they go to, so I can label everything.
Okay, so we're gonna try to do an in-depth teardown of what needs to come off the engine. Hopefully this will help some guys that are trying to put one in and don't know exactly what goes where or how it's connected, and anybody else who's trying to take it out. All right, so let's do this. All right, so we got, first thing that's interesting is you have that's the ground or power?
The power.
So the power
terminal
goes,
block.
Yeah.
And then the main harness plug for the batteries here. and then the one for the fuse box is here. So they all tied into this, and then the
Oh shit! All these wires?
yeah, they all went into there.
Oh, okay. So they all.
So it's a central point for the battery, as it would be normally located here, but because it's in the trunk, this is a very clean way to do it.
Oh, I see. So this is an aftermarket relocation of the battery.
Yeah.
Just a professionally done way to.
Yeah, it's very clean.
Wow, that's really
And then
that's
there's
really something.
he also put in a terminal for the fans for the radiator, which is nice.
Nice. Nice. So if you're gonna do engine battery relocating, that's probably the best way to do it. Get yourself one of these.
Clean. It's out of the way.
Yeah,
Doesn't look super ghetto.
That's freaking awesome, dude. And then that power line runs all the way back
through the firewall.
through the firewall, all the way to the trunk. Can we show them that real quick? There is no negative? It's not
It's right here, but I don't
It's probably just chassis ground. So that comes in through the back there, underneath the seats, and basically it's a nice clean install. The ground looks like it goes to underneath the seat, probably one of the bolts there. It's probably grounded to the chassis. Alright. And that's how you do a battery relocation for one of these. Nice. Alright, so Anthony's gone through the trouble of labeling everything he's disconnected. So, as you can see, everything is labeled. Everything he's disconnected is labeled. A lot of it is going with the engine.
A lot of
so it's going to be nice for the kid that's installing it into his car. He's going to know exactly what's what.
Yep.
Alright, so what was the next thing you were saying we're doing?
Yeah, we got to drain the power steering lines, take those off.
You're giving him the power steering pump too?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't reuse the power steering line, so he can have all those. Just the ones that go to the rack. The ones on the rack I'm keeping. The reservoir I'm keeping.
So you're saying the line going from the power steering pump to here, and this line going down to...
Down to the rack.
Where does that go?
Right here. Right into the rack.
Okay.
It's right there. This guy.
Okay, so that comes down and ties into those hard lines.
Yeah.
Hard lines you're keeping.
Yeah. Those
I
are
gotcha.
on my rack. I'm keeping.
Okay,
that.
so you're just
But
giving
this
him
line,
those.
he can have this.
Gotcha.
This power steering line that ties in back here.
Okay, so that's the return line. Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't need that.
All right, cool. All right, so let's pop that out. So you're undoing the power steering line there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this. Loose.
Steering line there.
I want to get the. Gotta squeeze it so I can get it over. That's not gonna do anything for me.
All right, so
Trying to get this out of my way. There we go.
So you get the clamp off, pry it up to the top like you just did, up there, and then you just pop that hose off, and all your power steering fluid should just pour right out. You need a flathead screwdriver. There you go, you got it. That to catch the power steering fluid. We're not planning on reusing this. We're going to put more fluid in, even though it looks really clean.
Oh, that's good video, man.
Alright, so that's good. And that's that. That's all you got to do. Power steering fluid's drained. Just going to disconnect the hoses. We're not going to really disconnect all the hoses because, like we said, we're just popping this whole engine out. A minimal amount of disconnecting. And that's alright, got the top hose off. Not much fluid because we already drained it. It's just in the nick of time.
Alright, I think I'm going to. This is probably nice.
So we got the hoses disconnected from the power steering pump. That's ready to go. Looks like all we have left to do is engine mounts and some wiring. And the heater hose is back here. You already drained the coolant, right?
Yeah, there'll still be a lot in there though.
Okay. So there's still a lot of coolant left in the heater lines and in the heater core after you drain it. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. That's still full. Even the motor still has a lot in it.
Oh yeah, there's drain bolts in the motor block, right? If you wanted to drain it.
I'm sure there is. I have no idea. Honestly.
Yeah, no, there is. I read that. I mean, I wish I could pinpoint where it is, but I honestly, I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere on the block. So Anthony just took out the brackets for the power steering reservoir, right there. Yeah. You're keeping that, right? That's yours?
Yeah, this is mine.
Yeah, he's keeping that, so he just doesn't want it to get damaged when he pops his engine out, which is a smart move. He always puts the bolts back into their holes, just so you don't lose them. Always a good idea. Yeah, keeping shit organized is always the key to doing anything that requires taking more than one component off.
Yeah.
Because look at all the parts here. You could easily, I mean this isn't that much, but you could easily get overwhelmed.
A bunch of shit on the table.
Yeah. I mean,
stuff everywhere.
Yeah. Alright, so now we're underneath the car. This is the power steering rack. This line we need to take off in order to get the
motor out.
Yeah.
Gotta get these hoses out of the way.
Yeah, probably trunnion locks, and because sometimes these hoses, the clamp gets them to stick on there, so you just give it a jiggle, a point to pry from. Now that it's mostly off, you can just take prying point and just keep prying until you get the hose pretty much off. It's going to be tough because it's been on there probably for like 20 or something years. There we go. Be careful not to get it off all the way like that, because then you'll get power steering fluid in your eye. Right to the drain. There we go. Give it some
Yeah, once you break it loose, it comes right out.
Getting this out of the way. Bam. See, shit like this piece, you'll forget where that goes and you'll lose it. So always keep an eye on where you're keeping this stuff. Now that we have that out of the way, obviously that's going to be a different size. On top of the tire?
Probably. It's loose by hand though.
It is?
Yeah. I told you I broke it loose.
Got it?
Yeah, but now you gotta try and get that out.
Okay. So now that we got the hard line disconnected, we gotta sort of finagle it, and get it out. There we go.
Sweet.
So that's out.
We out, motherfucker.
Now, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get it out of this.
We can just do it from above now.
Good? Yeah. Alright, so we just disconnected the clutch cylinder, or clutch pedal, what do they call it? Clutch slave cylinder, and drained it. Almost forgot to do that. And we disconnected the, this is for the charcoal canister from the fuel tank. We don't use that anymore. We ripped it out, or he ripped it out, so we just disconnected that. Probably not going to connect that back ever again. So we have to disconnect the shifter and everything from up top. Then we'll come down here, undo these bolts, take this off. And the only thing holding this transmission on is the engine now. Then once we disconnect the engine mounts, which are here, you can see it way better from this side.
No, you can see there.
Yeah. Right there, that engine mount. And then on the other side, you have that engine mount right here. So we'll show you how we disconnect them. But that's pretty much the only thing holding the engine up, and we'll show you how to support it and how to take it out. And we'll also learn how to do it while we're showing you. All right, recording? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Anthony just took the bracket off here that connects the brake booster to your vacuum line to the intake. I just took out the lower hose, the lower heater hose, right down here. Right here, see that hose? It was connected through the firewall, right into here. Through there, it was connected to the firewall. Disconnected that. That hose goes straight to the engine block from there. So it goes from there directly to the engine block, right there. So that hose is connected just like that. Oh, that's perfect. So disconnect that. Okay, throttle cable is something else you want to make sure you disconnect. What you have to do, you just have to basically put the throttle at full open, and they'll give you enough slack in the cable to pull that end, to pull this end up and out. Basically it goes into that notch just like that. Go ahead and slide it in. Goes right into there. So you basically, if you undo it from up here, it becomes loose. Pull it up, and there you go, just slide it out, and that's it. Nice. Okay, these two lines were the AC lines. If you had AC connected, you would just undo these. We got the upper radiator hose clamp off. So now we're just gonna pop that hose off too. There we go. So now we have both heater core hoses off of the firewall. And all that remains is the two connections. So now we officially have nothing connected from the firewall to the engine. So that means it's time to start yanking some shit. Alright, what are you doing, Anthony?
Labeling the O2 sensor plug.
Alright, Anthony's disconnected the O2 sensor. It's labeling it. Where does that go?
Right here, right off the dump off the turbo.
Alright, that's the same thing?
Yeah,
side of it?
the opposite side of it.
Okay. And that goes over to our wiring harness, which we didn't tape this, right? No, we didn't tape this, but we pulled this whole harness through the firewall. It actually wasn't that hard. You just have to maneuver it slowly. Just keep pulling and slowly keep maneuvering it out, and you'll get it. When you get down to here, you have to be careful because this will catch on the edges, and you won't be able to pull it out. So you gotta stick your 2 fingers in there. I managed to get 3 fingers in there, and get the edge of that just through the hole. Once you get it through the hole, then you can just pull it out nice and easy. This is the size of the opening. So it's not that small, but it's really not that big either, and you have a bunch of insulation here. So just take your time, you can easily get that harness out. We have the throttle body disconnected, we have the brake booster lines disconnected, the brake master cylinder lines. We didn't show this, but we disconnected the master cylinder lines that went over the engine. We also, from underneath, there's another line for the charcoal canister that we disconnected, which is over here. I don't think he has it anymore, but it was just a line that was in the way. We disconnected it, not a big deal. The other thing we disconnected was the heater core hoses over here. Pulled them out. So now we were thinking of whether to pull the engine from the top or to drop the subframe. I think we're going to go ahead and putting it on the jack and getting it supported and trying to take it out from the top. Alright, that'll be the next step. Bam, so this is what we got. Anthony's got some straps. He's going to put a strap on and just
whale it in.
Okay, shifter we just unscrewed. This piece has some clips right there and there. Just reach on the inside and just pop it out. And that comes off. Then there's 4 bolts holding this boot on in each of the 4 corners. Unscrew these bolts. I believe they're 10 mil. Yep, they're 10 millimeter bolts. Unscrew them, and then take this off because you don't want to rip this boot by dropping the transmission. This shifter is part of it.